Hello.
Hello and welcome to the live stream wherein we stream and comics are a thing. How is everybody? We got Nancy, Suyu, Emily, Mouth, Kai Fur. Hello. How is everyone today?
Hello.
Are we doing well?
Are we all working on our comics?
Hey,
that
Clad.
we're
Hey,
gonna
Alexander.
start?
I'm saying hello. I'm sorry.
How dare you say hello to them?
Let me apologize as Eleanor and Gray. Oh my goodness.
Hello.
I'm doing all right. I am very tired because I don't sleep anymore. But I'm vibing. I also have a headache, so I might not be my usual non-headachy self. Hey, Farwin. Next week's the critique circle. So
If you are a patron,
get your long form in today.
today's the day.
Today's the day. You have like 2 hours before we notice that it's in late.
So get in there
So get in there
before we
with
notice.
your long forms if you got any. I should add everyone.
Should.
I'm gonna do that. You talk to everyone.
What an honor to have someone struggling to say my name. Oh, you could always come here for that. Hope the headache gets better soon. Oh, I didn't even notice. Oh my god.
There, sounds okay.
No writing to send this month. Just art. Just art.
Good. Yeah. All right. I reminded everyone.
Hell yes.
I need to get better at reminding everyone, but you know what? I try my dang bestest.
The ding gosh bestest.
So we don't have tons of long forms so far, so we're probably gonna do just one stream.
Yes.
Yeah. So hopefully we won't die this time.
Woohoo. Save our voices.
Tell us how you're doing, Ursula. You haven't explained yourself.
Oh, I'm doing good. Good today. I'm feeling chipper.
Eating pancakes.
Oh my god.
The size of her head.
So many pancakes. I wanted pancakes, so I made them, and I made way too many because Bones doesn't eat pancakes. He doesn't like them.
It's nasty things. Make me sick.
So I made a bunch that I had for breakfast, and then I saved the rest, and I was hungry for lunch, so I had some more pancakes.
I'm gonna jinx it. Oh, maybe I will.
Oh no. You got a second shot.
Yeah, what?
Was it a vaccine? Because if it was, yeah.
Oh. I thought like you got one shot, one opportunity. I don't want a shot, like not because I don't want to be vaccinated. I just don't want to get shot.
You just don't like needles.
What kind of sick person eats pancakes, right? Oh, they're so gross.
They're delicious.
Oh, I don't
They're
even want to talk about them.
fluffy.
Please don't.
Okay.
Okay. Like,
Okay. Let me defend pancakes.
you don't have to defend them for me, okay?
Okay.
Like, you're not gonna convince me. I just
I know.
they're not something I like. Pfizer.
Hell yeah.
Only 3 days left of school. School's a thing.
Oh, right. School's all canceled in our area, so.
I have a doctor's appointment on Tuesday.
Oh, heck.
I have to cancel Amazon Prime
Oh, heck.
on my American account. I did a free trial.
Oh.
And I do that right now.
Crepes are superior. I do like a good crepe. See, I like them all. I like waffles. I like pancakes. I like crepes. I like French toast.
Can we please stop talking about them?
Okay.
Please. Like, I genuinely can't right now. I'm not,
Okay.
I think I'm getting like a migraine, so I'm like
Oh,
a little
no.
more like tummy sensitive than usual.
Okay, fair.
So let's keep the pancake talk low, guys.
We got a little bit of rain, so it's cooling off a smidge today, which is nice. There's a nice cool breeze upstairs. I'm trying to buy an air conditioner window unit. But the two people I've messaged just messaged me and said that it's not for sale anymore. So we're gonna be sweating this summer.
Oh God, it's always such a freaking pain to like cancel. They don't make it easy.
They do not.
Manage membership.
Canceling your subscriptions is always a pain.
Update, cancel, and more. End membership. Yeah, they usually trick you. They're like, there's like a million screams of, "Are you sure?
Are you sure?
Cancel my benefits. I don't want to be happy."
I know, and they make it sound like
Continue to cancel. How many buttons do I have to press? Cancel my this is my third time saying cancel.
Are you sure you want to cancel?
Okay, let's see if it actually ends. Your membership will end on May 25th. Your Prime membership is expiring. Okay, cool.
I came for webcomic
out.
tips, kind of confused about the French toast part. It's a very important part of making comics.
I like
talking
chicken
about
and
French
waffles and
toast.
spicy syrup.
Delicious.
Ugh, I can't do food, guys. I can't do food talks.
Help, I
need
can't
to stop reading
comic.
these comments. Talk about comics, okay? Ask comic questions, please. My
Help.
migraine isn't happy.
Okay. Help, I can't comic. Why? We're here to help. What do you need help with?
Yeah, ask us questions.
What comics are you guys reading? For me, it's Lore Olympus, Lumine, Castle Swimmer, Boyfriends, Unfamiliar,
I
etc.
don't really read comics much. Subscribe to hear about Bones canceling Amazon Prime.
That's what our channel's really about.
Yeah, it's our main focus.
I'm
We did the
currently-
9-point tabletop last night.
We did. It was fun. I'm currently reading what is it? Solutions and Other Problems? Is that what it's called?
Yes,
Yeah.
that is what the book you're reading.
Yeah, it's a good comic.
It's not a comic though.
It's a book.
Yeah,
It's kind of
It's
like
like-
a comic.
there's comic elements.
Yeah.
I'd say.
I'd put it on the comic shelf if I ran a bookstore. Coming up with multiple short stories for one-shots, that's lovely. How to outline effectively, and time management. Oof. Time management, I would say I can't help with outlining. I'm not the writer. I'm not the cool guy. But with time management, I would say set like little deadlines, like work in chunks. Be like, this month I'm gonna work on 5 pages, for example. That's a good deadline. It's doable. Because what you don't want to do is you don't want to make an unachievable deadline, like saying I'm going to finish like 30 pages in a month, unless you're doing like a fun challenge, but like still that's a lot of work. That's too much work to try and finish 1 page every day. So you're either gonna try and burn out, you're gonna feel overwhelmed and not do it, or somewhere in between. One of those two things is going to happen generally. Or you're going to work really fast and you won't like the results. So set little deadlines that are doable, that have a set deadline. Don't just say like, I'm going to finish my comic. Because again, you're going to overwhelm yourself. Or anything like that. So set little deadlines. And do multiple of them. Say I'm going to finish 5 pages, and then the next month I'm going to do 5 more pages. If you're finding you're completing them really quickly, you could up it to like 7 pages or something. You can readjust things. And have little deadlines along the way. Say like by the mid-month, I'm going to have 2.5 pages done, so that, you know, you keep yourself motivated by hitting those little deadlines. Hopefully that helps.
In line with that, how do you get yourself invested in an idea enough to be able to commit to making it?
Oh, part of it, I think it does help having deadlines. Like, so that, because if you decide, like, I have this idea that I like, it's probably going to be like 100 pages that'll take me like a year to make, then, like, that's not a very long time to commit to, like, a creative project. Like, and that way it can feel like less overwhelming being your like one and only project that you're working on. There's an end to it so that you can move on to more ideas after. It's not your only thing. I think that can help. For me, I find with like when I want to commit to making something, it's usually like, is this idea really fun? And if I sit down and like really think about different aspects of it, like can I get themes that I really like out of it? Or do my characters feel like I'd want to like work on them for a long time? Do I get really excited thinking about like telling people about this story? I also find for me, if I have a story that I keep coming back to, like month after month, I'm like, this is probably something I want to work on.
Only a year for 100 pages.
That's a short comic. Comics take a lot of time.
No, only a year for 100 pages. They're
Oh, sorry.
saying it take.
Sorry. Yeah, it can take longer, but that's if you do 2 pages a week, which is doable. It's hard, but it's doable, you know?
Do you think it's a good idea to rewrite pages you've already drawn, kind of like restarting it? I'm about 10 pages in, but it's taken me half a year, but there's a lot I want to change.
Finish it.
Oh.
I say keep going and finish the project. You can go back and edit it later. Because you're getting in your own way by going back and redoing the beginning over and over again.
Yeah.
If you really want to redo it, you have to set a deadline and do it. Be like, because otherwise it's going to be another half a year. You're going to still be on the first 10 pages. There's going to be old art from now that you don't like anymore that you're going to want to change. So you either commit to what you have now or have like, I'm going to redo these 10 pages in a shorter amount of time, and that's it. What I would recommend, just keep going forward. You can retcon things. You've given yourself some things to write around now. And the wonderful thing about webcomics is that if people see later art that is really cool looking and beautiful, they will read through the first few pages, which may be not as good art and writing wise to get to the latest cool pages. So just keep going, I would say.
How do you get the story rolling? Like, get the events to progress?
Whoa.
It's me trying to get my brain to. I have like some brain fog going on here.
Oh no.
Like, not like a disassociation, just like tired, I think.
Aw.
Neurons fire. Go. How do you rate the middle? Oh my god, guys. Guys, help. How do I talk?
A good way to make things happen and keep them interesting is to do the yes but no and with events.
Yeah, that thing. That's also good for middles.
Yes. So
yeah.
basically what it is like your character should be trying to do something, like they have a goal. That can be like saving the world, getting a sandwich. Depends on the length of the story and the stakes and stuff. But anyways, they're trying to do something. So with each scene, they either yes, they achieve their goal, but some new conflict arises. Some new bad thing happens. Or the other alternative for the scene is no, they don't get their goal, they don't achieve what they want, and now here's something worse on top of it. So yeah, so that's just kind of how you ask that question like
over and over,
Over
again,
and over
at
again.
the end of each scenes. Everything's constantly getting worse. That usually keeps the ball rolling. Things just continue to get worse and worse until the low point, which is like the ultimate worst. And like by worse and worse, it doesn't necessarily mean like it has to be related to your story.
Yes.
Yeah, and they can have like mini successes, but even successes are kind of failures in the way. Because anything short of solving the main quest line or whatever is a failure in some sort of way. Like you can succeed to do like a good example would be like in a mystery novel when they're finding clues. Like clues are progress, but they still don't have the answers, and sometimes on top of not having the answers, things no longer fit together, and there'd be a yes but no and kind of situation.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And sometimes like the yes but can be like they didn't die but I don't know, say they're like exploring a cave and it starts to flood, so they manage to like get above the water, but now they're trapped in a cavern, so now they have to get out, and then it's like they find an opening to another cavern, but it leads deeper into the cave and not out. So yeah, anyways, you keep doing that.
Join us.
Join us.
I'm working with my homies. They do the writing while I do the art. We don't have story things settled yet, so I've been making mock pages to get comfortable with the characters. Is that a good idea?
Yeah, that's a great idea. I'd also recommend doing like design work, like character turnaround sheets to help with consistency. But yeah, doing test pages is a great thing to do. Just to get into the swing of things.
Do you explain stuff without relying on an entry point character who needs things explained to them? I notice myself relying on that kind of character as a crutch a little too often. I mean, it's not a bad crutch. Like, I wouldn't get too upset with yourself over it. It's especially common in YA and children's fiction to have an entry point character like that who's just exploring the world for the first time. And like it's a trope for a reason because it's very useful. Like it's incredibly useful. And it's like my go-to solution too when I'm having difficulties explaining the world. Because it is difficult to explain things in like a diegetic way otherwise. It's like an entry point character because it's just so. I'm also struggling on like how you do it specifically.
Yeah.
It really depends. Because you can do it even less diegetically and just like straight up explain the world in like explainer pages. Especially like fantasy. Like fantasy is really difficult for that. That's what I'm struggling with right now. Our last critique, me trying to fix the scene for easy to understand. Yeah, I think some of what helps is being very slow and deliberate with the information that you're giving your readers, because each thing will build off of the next thing, and you need to find ways to explain one thing at a time. And oh my god, I almost knocked over my water. Like, I'm trying to think of an example of this, because I can think of how I've done it in my novels, because you get a lot of like explainer space for that. Because like in Honeywalls, there isn't really an entry point character that needs everything explained to them tons. But because you have like internal dialogue, you can explain things a lot more. It becomes a little more difficult in things like comics and other sort of more script-based forms, because you don't have that internal world as much. It's a lot more visual,
Mm-hmm.
and relying on people not knowing things is an easy way to kind of start explaining what's going on. Yeah, I'll keep thinking about it, but that's a good question. I think the main point would be don't be so self-conscious about it. It's like being self-conscious about using words to write your story. It's just kind of like it's one of the building blocks that's really helpful, and most people aren't even bothered by it.
Yeah.
As long as you kind of shuffle out who the entry point character is, because you can have an entry point character who is aware of the world but isn't necessarily aware of certain aspects of it, because not
Totally.
everyone knows the entire fantasy world around them. If you pass the duty around a bit to like multiple characters, like each of them has specialty in different parts of the world, that can make it a lot more chill. I guess I deal with that kind of in Avo, because like you're gonna have like characters who are used to like what the immortal world is like, and then you have characters who are used to like what the mortal world is like, and neither of them is our world, so they have to explain it to each other, which helps, I guess. Yeah, but it is easy. Anyways, how do you deal with writing on top of commissions? Don't do commissions. Comic writing on top of commissioning. Commissioning is so hard, guys. I'm not a good person to ask about it because I think it's so not worth the time. A lot of the time, unless you're making big money on it.
Mm.
Like, if it's really fun for you, like, I'd do it. But, like, my thing is just... Okay. Here's, like, my thing. It's better to work on, like, something that you can resell multiple times and make a lot of money off of. Like, if you get good at pixel art, like, this is my scheme, was get good at pixel art and make cross-stitch patterns, because cross-stitch patterns are just pixel art, and you can sell the PDF for $5. And so that's one piece of art that's sold for $5. Now, as commission, that's terrible, but you continually get to sell it for $5. And then if you get a bunch, then you get, like, just work on, like, merch. I did commission work later in the week, scripting earlier Monday. Yeah, like, you can... It'd be time management. I always warn people off of commissions, unless you're doing, like... I don't know. I know there's people who do really well with commissions, and... especially, like, in that furry community. I'm just a boring boy who's, like... I don't know. Well, selling comics is hard, though. I'd agree.
Oh,
But
yeah.
there's, like, other things, like merch and crap like that. Like, it's just more worth it in the long run. Because like even if you don't start selling things, like as you build up more like merch on something like Redbubble or whatever, um once you have like a bigger inventory, you get like lots of sales. And then you own the art too, which is really important.
Yeah. That's another thing with like commission work is like if you are gonna do it, definitely stick a clause in there that says you can merchandise off the
But even then, that's
art.
hard because if you're doing OCs
Yeah.
and stuff, it's hard.
That's true.
My other thing with commissions, like it's neat. Like it's fun to do, and if you like doing them, it's cool. Like I know people who make a good like side hustle on commissions, but if you're looking to like just get an art in general, there's other things you could do which will have like a lot better like long-term benefits for you. Like if you like my mom does kind of that stuff where she's like working on making patterns, and she does like pattern contests, but she like owns all of her patterns, and she's slowly building up like a store to like sell things like on the Society 6 and whatever, like, but at the same time you're building up like a cool kind of portfolio, which is neat. Like there's challenges too where you could get into like design, like graphic design and UX, and while you can't sell those things and you won't make money off of it real quick like a commission, it can help you like get an art job, which is like better in the long run. Like if you long term want to hustle as a commission artist and you think you'll do great at it, like don't let me stop you. Don't let me dissuade you, but you need to think of it kind of long term goal wise, unless you're just doing it for fun, in which case you have to prioritize whether your comic work is more important or your commission work is more important. Furries pay a lot and they tip really well. They're also the best people to work with, to be honest. It's very nice and specific, and they tend to be very understanding with your time limits. I have had most issues with younger anime fans, to be honest. I'm starting a shop soon as well, and I tease products, and I'm already have people pre-ordering. Are you excited? Yeah, like I think commissions are cool. Yeah. Do voice training and become a VTuber.
Yes. Yeah. Don't let it scare you away from commissions, but they definitely are not the most efficient way to make money. It's a lot of work for not a lot of return.
I think what's cool is looking into things that will have a recurrent passive payout for you. For us, that's something like YouTube, whereas even if we didn't do any YouTube work for like a month, we still have a backlog, and you're still going to make a couple of dollars here and there. And that's sort of what I mean. Because I do that with selling books as well, right? Where it was a lot of work, but now people just buy the books, and I barely have to do anything anymore. And that's, whereas commissions take a lot of commitments on command, you know?
Yes.
Steal copper from construction sites? Yeah, that's also a great idea.
Yeah, yeah. So I'd say, and the thing is, like, I think there's stuff you could do with commission work where you could, like, maybe you can't reuse the characters, obviously, if it's someone's OCs. But you can create, like, I don't know, background elements and stuff, like patterns, like Bones' mom does, where you can take those and, like, reuse them across different commissions and, like,
okay,
own them and use them. But that's still a lot of work to do.
I don't want to like I I am digging. I have opinions on people like that promote commissioning as this great thing for young artists to do because I don't it because it makes me sound like such a hater on it, but like I feel like a lot of the time um I don't know, like people seem to like really devalue commissions too. Um and they charge really cheap rates. And then they talk about like, well, if I charged an actual rate, then no one would buy them. And like then maybe we shouldn't be doing them, you know? Like
We were saying how we need to make like a union for commission artists where we
yeah, a
like
little collective.
a little collective or where we defend like a baseline price.
We them. I'm not a
Them.
commission artist.
Well, yeah.
Like we only do commission art because it's fun to offer it sometimes. It's not
Yeah.
really like a big plan or whatever. Adoptables can go for a lot. People have thousands per adopts. Yeah, if you build up that sort of thing, it's like closed species and whatever. It's definitely like a thing. Like you can make money doing commissions and you can like make a living commissioning things. But I'm just like the other people that pay well are people who buy portraits of like their grandparents and stuff. It's like you don't get as much for like anime portraits.
Mhm.
People love their dogs. People have pictures of their dogs. Learn how to draw people's dogs really cute, and then you can sell to a normie audience as well.
That's true.
Like Ursula does like 30-minute crayon commissions at conventions, and they sell really well.
Yeah. They're really fun to do. I really like them. I draw people's pets as knights. And
Yeah.
It's really fun.
I get very stressed out about them. I've only done a few, and I hated it. It's super hard to figure out the value of art in some groups. I'm in because I do a very cartoony style, and then others do realistic style. How do I value my own stuff? It's like based on time, and remember, like the time also includes the amount of time you've spent studying your craft.
Yes.
Like that also factors into
You're-
your pay.
You're not only paying for the paper and the 10-minute drawing, you're paying for the years it took to be able to do a nice 10-minute drawing. Like,
Yeah.
Furry
art or grandpa portraits, your choice, basically. Basically, learn to draw animals and you're gonna be great because people like pictures of their dogs and people like furry art. Bing, bang, boom. All you human drawers are shooting yourself in the feet.
But also, like, when you're figuring out your rates, a really great talk I heard, I think it was like, my guess it was Maya Kern on Twitter or something talking, but she was talking about like, you basically figure out like what like what do you need to survive, you know, if you got bills or food or you just want fun money. And figure out like, okay, how much could I draw in say like a month? Say you're like, I could do like 3 nice commissions in a month. And then you're like, well, I need to make $500 for my fun money this month. So you take 500 and you divide it by 3 and that's your rate.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's like super basic. Just base it off what you need. And you'll attract, and if you think it's a high price, you're just attracting buyers who are going to pay you correctly and not going to like devalue your art or try and skip out on paying you. Yeah. You're catering to a classier clientele.
Capitalize on the foot lovers market. Hey, if you like smut, live it up.
Heck yeah.
Get you a pen name. If you like writing, write smut. It's great.
I'm just remembering that story of someone who like did smut writing commissions and they accidentally sent it to one of their professors
Oh
instead of their
god, that's
essay.
mortifying.
And I think the professor was like, good writing, but
Smut sells so well. Smut's another kind of passive thing, right? Like
Yeah.
you can sell furry smut on Itch.io
there you go.
if you're over 18, please.
Well, yeah,
Um,
obviously.
You can sell like that stuff on Itch.io. You get a little backlog. Oh man.
Claire, get yourself a pen name. They'll never know who it is.
Oh my
can just
god, I
hide.
spend most of the comic money I spend on is on smut.
Oh no!
The most like I'll pay more for like smut comics than I will for like anything. Like it's really bad.
Oh my
I'm
God.
asexual. Like I don't get why I'm like this.
I like to think it's like studying material. You're like, okay,
Yes.
what do the aloes talk about? Your little notepad figuring it out.
Like I follow certain artists and like
Glad pepper and smutty glad pepper. Yes.
I follow artists and they'll put out a new comic and I'm like, Pog, gotta buy right now. Like not like that with any other artists and stuff. Like I don't know.
Two asexuals talking about smut comics. Exactly. Smutty and proud. Oh my god. How does one thumbnail? Oh,
That's
thumbnailing?
Ursula and all her romance novels.
Shut up. If you give me a cute little romance novel, I'll buy it. I do that a lot. I'll go and buy a little like.
Well, the thing with writing smut, as someone who has in the past had a pen name and wrote that stuff, you don't even have to advertise. Like you just put it up online and then somehow a bunch of people are just buying it if you like label it correctly and you hit a niche. And, like you don't have to do anything.
I know, you don't
And
have
then
to
if you
advertise.
just write like a short story, that too. When you're writing smut, you don't have to write a big comic. It can be like 20 pages. Or for writing, it can be like 10,000 words. Like that's like a good spot to hit. And then you just publish it, and then you immediately are selling it. And then if you just did that every month, eventually you have this huge backlog, and you're like constantly making money. Like
Bones' old smut pic on AO3. He doesn't know what AO3 is.
I don't do AO3. I was making money. I ain't doing fanfic.
Where are you publishing this?
I'm not telling.
You'll never find out.
I think it took me a while because like I kept making money off of them. Like you can, okay, if you wanted to do it, if you're doing like furry stuff, it's good to like set up like your own little store, and be a little more social. If you're doing normie bait. If you're doing stuff for normies, you can go on Amazon. It's pretty good to go on Amazon and Smashwords. Those are pretty good. Yeah, like normie stuff. Like you have to be kind of like tame for them.
You know,
It's good to kind of
walk
browse.
it back a bit.
It's good to kind of find like really specific niches for writing smut and see like there needs to be enough of a demand for the type of lewdness you're writing, but it needs to not be oversaturated.
Yeah.
So you have to find like a niche, and then usually people will just immediately find you because they're
like-
looking for a very specific thing.
Because, like, if you're writing, like, I don't know, vampire smut, there's probably a lot of that.
Yes.
In fact, I know there's a lot of that. But if you're, like, cowboy vampire smut, or if you're, like, lesbian vampire cowboy smut, that's super niche. I don't know if there's a demand for that, but...
Well, okay, if you want money, Also, you don't have to be smutty too. I
Oh,
will
yeah,
say that
you can be romance.
romance is also a good one
Yeah.
to get into. They tend to want like more words written though.
Yeah.
Good niche to get into is historical lesbians because Ursula will buy it.
Oh, I will be your number one fan, please. There's like 2 writers that I know about that do like historical lesbian, and I'm like, please, I want more.
If you're doing comics, it's good to do itch.io.
Yeah.
And if you're a furry, obviously advertise on Fur Affinity as well. Yeah. Fur Affinity is great because you can find your audience pretty easily because you can already tag what what type of lewd it is, and then people will find the ad and they will will be gone. Pishu.
If you want to make money, make historical lesbians, and you will have all my money. We can watch historical lesbian movies together. Let's do that. Hello?
There's something on AO3 for everyone.
True.
Yeah. Like, you gotta remember that the people looking for stuff on Amazon, like, they're not on AO3 most likely. Like,
Yeah.
they're normies, you know? But they're also kind of weird.
A little bit. Sleepy Tunes, that story sounds lovely.
ABO. Oh my god. Yeah, you can do ABO if you want. I'm sorry for the smut side thing.
The tangent.
I know some of you might actually be interested in it because it is a good way to make money. Like, and if you do smutty, if you do smutty comics, you can then probably, especially furry comics. If you're doing furry comics that are lewd, you will attract people who really like your stuff and will pay super big money to commission you to do comics for them. And there you go. You win. You won the jackpot, fam. Gay fantasy merman? Heck yeah. I don't get ABO, I'll be real, guys.
Me neither.
Yeah.
If that's your thing, that's fine.
I don't judge.
I'll allow this.
Suspiciously wealthy furries. Yeah, it's true. Okay, I want to keep it like somewhat wholesome.
Yeah.
It's very
Let's walk
slightly.
it back a bit, guys. Anyways, so we can answer other questions about art and comics and making money off your art if you'd like. Someone asked about thumbnails. Thumbnail sketches should be, so I'm doing currently thumbnail sketches for illustrations, but they follow the same rules. What you should be focusing on is the composition. So don't do like
Oh
don't
right,
be
it's
Charlie.
Mermaid. Everyone give me fan art of Chrysicola from Honeywell's, please. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. But don't be like Charlie. Don't do like a full rendered beautiful sketch for your thumbnail. Your thumbnail should be really quick. You're just focusing on like where you're placing the basic elements.
I would just like to say that's our channel motto. Don't be like Charlie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't be
okay.
like Charlie. For a second, I thought you were saying mod in a cute way, like motto. I was like, yeah, they are mod.
No.
No, that's our motto.
Oh, okay.
Anyways,
Yeah, you're just figuring out where to place the elements.
I'm filing for slander.
Or
It's not
I'm
slander
trying
if
to
it's true.
I'm trying to get you back on the thumbnail talk.
Thumbnail should be super quick. You're just figuring out where you're placing your elements. Sometimes they can take a while because you need to like think about them and like where you're gonna place things. So you have to try different compositions out really quick. But they shouldn't take you more than like maybe 10 minutes per page. Like they're really fast. I guess they do have to be a bit more detailed if you're working with someone, like you're handing off your thumbnails to someone, or you're working like with a writer or editor who needs to approve them. But like generally They're really quick. They're just storyboards. They don't have to be beautiful. And thumbnail all your pages. And if you're making a book, I would recommend, like you see how I've got these all laid out on a page. I'd recommend doing like a 2-column and figuring out where your pages are facing each other, because that can help. Because sometimes when you're making your comic and you don't realize it, but you've made the exact same panel on 2 pages that are going to be right beside each other in your book. So yeah, it helps to understand your comic layout if you're doing a book or something. Charlie is the sweetest. This is slander.
My brain turned to mush. You can handle
God.
things for a bit.
Okay. I just got an iPad, so I'm going to start plot my idea when summer starts. I think you mean, are you plotting your idea? Put reveals on page turns. Yes, that can also be important. It's like when safety videos have that idiot who does all the safety wrong, but it's me and I'm real. I have feelings and that feeling is anger. I'm sorry, Charlie. Do you think it's a must to add romance to your story? I've heard people say they won't read stuff without any romance. Hey, there's stuff that doesn't have romance that is lovely. You can totally have wonderful stories that don't have romance. In fact, I think I hear a lot of people say they don't want romance shoved into a story when it's not necessary. Like, that's a big problem a lot of people have with Hollywood movies, where there's a random romance side plot that isn't necessary to the story and it feels really forced. I was listening to a podcast, Wolf 359, is that what it's called? Anyways, where I kept expecting a romance subplot to happen, but it doesn't, and I was really happy. It was still a good story, and I'm someone who loves romance. So yeah, you don't have to force romance into your stories. There's definitely an avid romance market and people who really like having romance in their stories, but it's not necessary. He was the boy, she was the girl energy? Yes, yeah, we don't want that. Just because 2 characters look at each other doesn't mean they have to kiss. This is a call out to myself, who constantly... Well, I mean, I like writing romance, so... I would be surprised if I wrote a story without romance in it. I want a wholesome found family without any deeper relationship dramas? Hell yeah, that is lovely. There's a market for that. I love romance stories, but if it's poorly done, I rage about it? Yes. I seethe with anger when I think about the forced romance in Detroit Become Human. Oh my god, yes. Unless they're gay, then they should definitely kiss, of course. Can D&D be utilized to come up with stories? Totally. It definitely can. Lots of people do that. And all sorts of tabletop games. How did you know I was going to start my webtoon today? I just knew. Good luck with your webtoon. Are you posting it or are you doing the art? Either is good. Time to work on character designs for my comic despite not finishing the 2nd chapter in terms of the script. Well, that's okay. Character designs are a good thing to do in tandem to writing your script. We need more wholesome friendships. We do. Don't get me started on the romance in Detroit Become Human. Don't even get me started. Can we talk about the women characters in that game? Because good lord. I always feel sad when the ultimate relationship goal is romance, as if friendship and love to family is not equally important. Right? I cry every time when there's like true love will save the day and it's like a not romantic relationships where it's like love between family members. I'm just like, I cry. There's romance in Detroit. It's not good. It's not a good romance. It's between North, that's her name. North and Marcus? Is that the guy? It's been a while since I've looked at that game. I don't know how long my comic is gonna be, but I'm just storyboarding as I go. That's fair. I would highly recommend fully storyboarding or scripting your story before you start posting, but that's you know what? If that gets in your way from creating, then just follow your dreams. North's whole story just makes me angry.
Thank you for chatting.
You're welcome. Are you okay?
I'm falling asleep.
Oh, baby. Everyone, some bones, some hearts, please.
Thank you.
For the sleepy baby.
For years, I've been torn about whether or not to have an endgame poly relationship or MXM. When characters have spent most of their story in a toxic relationship, but then gets with their two best friends.
Oh, that's so lovely.
Hello, faceless voice bones. Hello. Ursula, do you have more to say?
Sure. One sec.
She's focused.
She's trying to draw a cool picture.
Oh, she's drawing a cool picture. Really, do be sleepy boy hours? It do be.
It do be. Hold on. I think you talked about this before, but how large should your cast be? For a long story or for a short one or a one shot? The more main characters you add, the longer your story is. So if you have probably 1 to 2 main characters, you could do for like a shorter comic. For a one shot, definitely 1 character as your main. And the more main characters you add, you're doubling the size of your story. Because a common romance, I can talk about romance because that's all I'm super familiar with, but a common romance, dressing, I guess, is they'll usually have 2 characters. They'll switch between, like, the 2 love interests. The protagonist and their love interest will get 2 different POVs. So you can have a shorter story that still has 2 main characters, but the more you add, the longer the story. When and if we send in stuff for critique, does it have to be done or can it be a whip? Yeah, it can be a work in progress. That's totally fine. You can send in a script, you can send in thumbnails, you can send in pencils, inks, finished pages, a story outline if you're still trying to figure things out. Yeah, it can be at any stage. Because sometimes it really helps to get feedback when you're in those early stages, you know? How did you know today was the day you're going to start your comic? Hell yes. You better start it. Or I'll be very disappointed. Oh, goodbye, Clad.
I have to go to the washroom.
Okay, goodbye. Yeah, get rid of those sleepies. Look at that guy. Look at him go. I feel many... I don't know that person. So you finished all your pages, everything is done. What next? Well, if you have your story finished and you haven't started posting, I'd recommend start posting it. That's a good step to do. Or you start developing your next project if you've already posted it. Have a little celebration, whatever that is. What program is this? This is Procreate on the iPad. Have a little celebration, whatever that is. If it's playing games, having a spa day, enjoying a celebratory snack, whatever it is, just congratulate yourself if you finished all your pages. Chapter 35 is Ace Attorney. How did you know? Avo turns into a court drama. / mystery game. I've got 20 story ideas on the back burner because I can't stop applying to zines. Oh no! Hey, eventually you'll get into a zine. Or a few, and that's good. Get your name out there. One thing I started doing when it comes to NPCs and side characters is I made a whole random page of just people. So when I need a random side character, I can just pluck one from there. That's great. That's a good idea. How do we figure out whether to make a grayscale or black and white comic versus a colored one? What if we want to make the comic in traditional format? So by traditional format, do you mean like not webtoon format? Okay. Black and white comics, if you do ever want to print your comic, it'll be way cheaper. Color comics are much more expensive to print. So that's a consideration to have. Black and white comics are also faster to make. Color comics take like way more extra steps, so they can take longer to make if you want to make a comic really quickly. Black and white is the way to go. That also depends on how complicated your style is. But anyways, black and white is faster generally. As for making your comic in like a traditional non-webtoon format is a great thing to do, because if you do it that way, you can print it into a book easily, but you can also take it and turn it into webtoon format very easily. So I'd recommend starting with like a traditional format and then webtoonizing it if you do want to post it on webtoon. Or not, you could just post the traditional page on webtoon. People don't really care. I can't believe Bones wrote another court drama disguised as a fantasy. It's true. Charlie's making a joke. That's a thumbnail I'm working on. Looks like Ace Attorney. You can still do a colored comic. Like, you can still print it if you want. If you're just putting it online, it's also okay to just do colored comic. Grayscale is better for traditional and color for webtoon, but I enjoy color comics on paper as well. It's like, it's not even like I wouldn't recommend doing it. It's just be aware that it'll cost more to print. Is Tapas good to publish on? Yeah, it's pretty good. People have been sus on them in the past, but they're not. They seem to be doing okay these days. But yeah, Tapas and Webtoon are both good. Good publishers to put. Or hosts, not publishers. Good hosting sites. What are your favorite fantasy tropes? What's underrated things you've seen people do in their webcomics? Fantasy tropes that I like. I like
Big butts and I can't.
My goodness. Oh my god, every single trope has just left my head. Oh, hold on. Hold on. Okay, you're back.
My headphones are like pinched underneath it now. It's great. I love it. I love it. I love it.
I do love historical inspired fantasy. That is a fave. I like werewolves. Same. I like okay, I hate it, but I also love it. I like secret princesses and secret royals.
Oh yeah.
That's a fave.
I love twopes.
Yes. They did trot right out of my noggin. They said goodbye. Yeah, I like secret royalty. I like curses. Yeah, okay, we like curses.
We stand a good curse in this house.
We love a good curse. I like fairies. I like what else do I like? I love magical minority a lot. I like story, and that means where like the people who have magic are like oppressed in their society. That's a trope I like. I find it's fun.
What size of dress are you? No reason.
I'll message you. I'd rather not say.
Oh, wow.
Can't ask a woman her dress size.
It's a...
I actually don't know.
You don't know your dress size?
No, it depends on the place.
Loose-sized. I know your bust is huge.
It is.
What's your bust size? Are you not...
I'm not self-conscious about that.
Okay.
I think it's 47 inch.
Damn. Girl.
Bones gonna make Ursula's secret fairy princess. I like when fantasy children become awesome. Oh, my girl from Game of Thrones cooking people into pies. Yes. You like hard magic systems when people take inspiration from not commonly used cultures. Yes. Yeah, instead of just like medieval, default medieval. Yes. I also like... Okay, I have a very specific need for fantasy that is hard to find, but I want like dark fantasy, like grim dark inspired fantasy with like hopeful endings. Because like I like dark fantasy where it's like spooky and bad stuff happens and it's all very dire and cool, but I get kind of tired when it's like all bad all the time. So I'm like I want hopeful stories that are also dark and spooky. Bones won't give me trousers. Bones still hasn't asked my pants size. It's true, you do have to make them some Zodiac trousers.
No, I don't.
Watch Castlevania. Maybe. That's my comic. The ending was great. Refuse to wear trousers until Bones has sewed me a pair. I enjoy fantasy systems based off cat fur. Me too. Those are good.
Do 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 do. Why are you sniffly again?
I may have forgotten my medication last night.
Oh my god.
I had a moment where I was
can
like,
always tell.
I was like, I don't know if I took my medication, and I don't want to like double dose, so I didn't take
You need
it
a
last
pill
night.
box.
I do. I need help.
I told her to go to the doctor about ADHD, and she was like, "No, what if they don't think I have it? Or something like that. I don't know. I wasn't listening. She was complaining a lot.
Well, thanks.
You're welcome.
Raven, that is our comic 9 point, is based off cat furs, is the magic system. They have different abilities based on their cat fur color. I hate fantasy systems where a gay little man talks to socks. That one's good though.
He's not a gay man at all. He's very straight.
He is a straight man.
Yeah, he's a het. Go to a different doctor. That's not how it works here. We have one doctor.
Yeah. you have your family doctor, and if you get rid of them, it's impossible to get a new one. So I have my one doctor.
Exactly. Who did what voice? Straight man in your comic? More likely than you'd think, honestly. I add hets just for diversity's sake.
I love it. I know good compositions just generally have the same kind of like layouts, but I feel like I've done the same composition like for everything. I know that's not true.
Dennis is very straight. That's true. Stop sniffling directly into the microphone.
Sorry.
You like lean forward and work, and you're like,
Listen.
it's right in my ears.
She has to sniffle.
Yeah. Sniffling ASMR.
POV, you have a cold.
POV, the person next to you has a cold and is sitting next to your ear.
I've not tried Clip Studio on iPad, so I cannot tell you that. I use Procreate for drawing, and I use Photoshop and Clip Studio for layouts and lettering and speech bubbles. Ursula snuffling right into the mic like a bear. How dare you guys make fun of me? How could you do this? Eyeball point. How do you make panels flow and make sense? How do you know what to put in the panel? Is it action or emotion or both? So the way to think about laying out your pages is like, I'd say like your page is a paragraph and each panel is a sentence, if that makes sense. So each page has a point to it. There's something you're trying to say with this page. That could be like, this page I'm introducing a character, or this page I'm revealing a secret. This page I'm telling them that this character is dangerous. Whatever it is. There's got to be a point to your page. And that is the focus of it. And each panel should obviously lead up to that point, and support that. And each panel has a purpose as well. So there's like one thing you're trying to show with this panel. Well, you can put multiple things in a panel, honestly. But there should be something you're trying to show. So like, and it totally depends. I can't give you like a exact formula because it totally depends on like what you're trying to say. Depends on like the tone of your comic. But you know, you really need to think like what you need to say in your panel. It's like, is this panel to show my character just saw something like a monster and they're scared? Is it to show the monster? Is it to show they react to being scared by cracking jokes? Whatever it is. Are they showing that they twisted their ankle while running so they can't get away from this monster? Like, One paragraph is what I like to do. Breaking it up to make the page. Yeah, exactly. So your panel should be building up to tell the story of your page. Which sounds obvious, but you know what I mean. It's like how when you're writing an essay, your paragraph has like a point to it. You're talking about one thing. So I'd focus on that. Once you get more used to it, you can have like layered stories going on in like a single panel or a single page. But yeah, get the basics down first. There, I'm not sniffling into the mic.
Thank you.
You're welcome. When setting up the shot for a panel in the comic, how do you keep it from looking mundane? I would recommend just looking into composition. Because that is generally how you can make things look interesting, by understanding how to lead your eye around. Staying away from only doing like straight on shots can really help make things look more interesting, like looking at things from above or from below. It also depends on the mood you're trying to set. Like, are you setting like an ominous mood? Because what you put into the picture is going to be different than, because you can show, say, like a building. No, let's say a forest. You can show a forest and you can make it look like a happy forest by changing the colors, how you draw it, the camera angle, or you can make it very ominous by, you know, using very dark colors and adding lots of shadows, and maybe using like a Dutch angle where things are kind of tilted a little bit so it feels off-putting. So yeah, so it totally depends on what you're doing, but just play around with camera angles, play around with colors and mood and like the way you render things. There's a whole video on composition somebody may have done and worked hard on. Yes, you should click Charlie June's little name there, and maybe they have a video about composition that I recommend.
You can't just click their name. That's not how it works. You have to Google it. It's
Fine,
really
Google them.
stupid.
I wish it worked by just clicking on them.
Right? Like, why doesn't it work like that, YouTube?
YouTube, hello?
At least it doesn't work for me. Like, I'd love to click on people to like look into them and see if they're sus or not, but no, you're not allowed to go to their account by clicking on them.
You're working on your first episode? That's lovely. Good luck. You can do it. I believe in you. Could I use a treatment without a script if it's extremely detailed treatment? Yes, that is basically a script. So yes, you're allowed to do that, Nathan. Don't bother if you have to Google. That's too much effort. Just wing it. Yeah, exactly. A book I really recommend is one called Framed Ink. That's where I learned a lot about making cool compositions.
Heck yeah.
I clicked their name just as the phone said you can't, and I was disappointed. Ugh, YouTube, improve your platform.
Yeah, and even when I do the ... I can just make you a mod or destroy you.
Destroy.
Like, it's not like Twitch. Twitch is easy. Twitch works. Just gonna delete my whole channel. Finally.
Watch out.
At long last.
Erase you from the face of YouTube.
When is the Bones Destruction stream? Whenever you want it to be. Ask me to put you guys on a timeout, I'll do it.
Watch out. Oh, did I mention we made it to 40k subscribers?
Yeah, finally.
So, thank you guys for subscribing, for liking our videos, for chatting with us. It all means so much, and thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sounds
Just
good.
Just wanted to say thank you.
Finally. Yeah, we slowed down a bit.
It's fine. Ban me because I'm in the washroom. Oh, you're off to the washroom. I was like, don't chat to us from the washroom.
Stinky poo poo.
Aw, thanks, sewing artist. Thanks, ballpoint. Any tips for planning outdoor environments? I found when I was working on forest scenes in 9 Point, it helps to have like little landmarks. Because forests honestly are pretty not to make a pun, but like organic. Where they're very kind of it feels random to how they're set up, and sometimes it can be hard to draw the exact same trees in the exact same place and like shrubs and stuff. Or whatever, you know. Foresty things. So I'd recommend making like little landmarks where I drew out like a top-down view of like the path the character was on, and then I said like, here's this tree where this is happening, here's like a couple trees and bushes I want to just keep in mind, and then everything else could be kind of random. Panel to panel I'd check to make sure it just looks similar. But yeah, so just having a couple things to just mark down, use as a little map. And then the rest can be kind of like, whatever. But yeah, and it definitely helps to design them before you start drawing them. Crowds are hard. You just gotta do it. It depends. You can, if your crowd is super far away, you can get away with drawing like just kind of like squiggles and outlines and silhouettes and stuff. If they're up close, you do have to draw a character though. I'd also recommend putting a grid down on the floor of your crowd scene, just so that you can get like, you can kind of eyeball how far away things are, like keeping them in perspective. So like as someone gets further back, they're smaller, for example, and you can just get a good idea with a grid, like a basic idea of how far away they need to be. Even better is just adding a perspective grid to the page or the panel, I mean, and just drawing your crowd on top of it, which is a lot of work and it's frustrating, but it makes your crowd scene look really nice. I never watch you Wii at the same time. I have to concentrate. Fair. Good on you. I missed so many streams. Oh, that's okay. How do you make the characters write the script? What do you do if characters are different in the script than in the outline? Sorry, I have to sniffle.
She's sniffling.
Sniffle. I actually don't know. That's a question for Bones. What do you do if your characters are different when you actually start writing them?
What do you mean?
I don't know.
What does that even mean? They're different than what? What? I'm confused. Wait, explain the question.
They asked, how do you make the characters write the script? And what do you do if the characters are different in the script than in your outline?
Oh, okay, different than what?
Oh, sorry.
Would be different than outline.
I thought you heard that part.
No,
I'm sorry.
I'm zoning out. I don't know. You're either gonna have to rewrite your outline or change your characters. I'm a discovery writer at this point. It was funny. I was reading my old journaling from Writer's Craft back in high school, and I'm like, I'm an outliner. I can't discovery write. This is BS. I can't work under these conditions. But yeah, I'm a discovery writer. I'm sorry, I'm so useless today, guys.
We still
like
love
I'm
and
not even
appreciate you.
hearing anything. I'm just sweating and going to space. I even slept in.
Gosh dang it. Oop.
I'm glad Ursula's here to help. She's my rock.
Hell
She's my
yeah.
spine.
I'm your Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
What?
What? Discovery Writer. There's like descriptions for how different people write. Some people are outliners who plan everything out before they start writing. And then there's Discovery Writer, where you have no idea what's going to happen. You just start writing and see where it goes. There's also Plancers, I think, because there's planner versus pantser. Pantser being like flying by the seat of your pants or whatever. Plancer is someone who kind of outlines, kind of just discovery writes. So it's just different styles of how people work.
Sniffles.
Sniffles.
Space Cadet Bones salutes.
How do you combine magic, the magic world with the tech world? Should you play down one of the world ideas in the story? It depends. I feel like there's so many different ways you could do that. Because I'm thinking of like an old video game that I cannot remember the name of, where you go between a tech world and a fantasy world. It was like an old point and click game that I really liked as a kid. Anyway, so you can jump between the worlds. You can have a world where it's like they're mismatched together, which I think is a really cool idea. It totally depends on what the point of your story is. Like, because some of your stories could be like, technology is taking over the magic and we need to stop that. Or it could be, we've discovered magic through this technology. Or it could be two different worlds that are meeting, or someone who's from the fantasy world who gets thrown into a technical world. Like, there's so many different ways you can do it. Get Charlie a Spine 2021. Sounds like a new genre subcategory. There's a 70-30 rule, where Treasure Planet is a good example. I know that was the vibe, but you could probably apply that to magic. Wait, no, that makes me sound like a coward. And I am not a coward. Magic that takes place in a tech world. Okay. So if it's like a high-tech world and there's magic, well, I mean, it depends. Like, do people know about the magic? Is this a rare thing? Is it like a urban fantasy where the magic is like a hidden underworld type thing?
Some Final Fantasy games do this very integrated way. I don't even know what we're talking about. I'm sorry. You've lost me, guys. I'm sorry.
Typically, if you're doing like urban fantasy, it's usually like you'll have like your Watson character or your entry point character who like doesn't know about the fantasy world, who then gets pulled into it. Whether that's like they're solving a mystery, or someone they care about is related to is actually a wizard or something. Like
a wizard.
A wizard. And that's how they find it out. So yeah, and like you can have things like yeah, it depends. There's so many different ways you can do it. Because I'm thinking of like the Dresden Files, where like, was that hidden world magic? I can't remember now. I think it is.
I don't know anything about this. I don't read.
he does not. Technology of an advanced enough level is indistinguishable from magic. Someone's law. Yes. Magic's hidden from humans. Yeah, I'm not sure how you could balance it. I think there's actually, I wish I knew the name of it because I want to go and read this, but I know somewhere out there someone did like a guide to like hidden worlds where it's like only a certain percent of the population can know about it, otherwise it would become public and everyone would know about it type thing. But typically with urban fantasy, it's like you have someone who comes from like our world and then they get pulled into the magical world. And then the focus becomes about the magic. And the modern stuff is usually just to like to contrast the magic, I guess, where it's like I'm trying to think of a funny example of like I can't think of anything. But you know, it like having a fairy interact with the internet for the first time when they've lived their whole life in the forest. Like you can do stuff like that.
Oh, the Brandon Sanderson lectures are really good.
They are. They're really good. Inspiration from the Wings Club world. I love it. The 99% invisible city. Maybe. American Gods. Oh, okay, yeah. So yeah, it would be like a select few know about it. Have you read the Old Kingdom series by Garth Nix? I have not. It's urban fantasy of it being urban fantasy within their timeline. Ooh, it's circa 1911-ish. Ooh, that sounds fun. I like historical fantasies. Thinking about my childhood fairy series again. Yes, I need to read that. I still do. Sorry. I got focused on drawing.
You're forgiven.
Thank you. Okay, oppressed magical minorities only work if they're a very small part of the population. Yeah, generally. Well, I don't know. It depends on the story. You could have a story where, like, everyone but the 1% has magic, but the 1% has some way of, like, keeping them down and oppressing them. I'm sure there's a way you could make it work. Like, maybe they control a magical thing that keeps everyone else from using their magic in a way that they could use to rise up. I don't know. Oh god, Bright.
God. Sorry, my brain just hurts.
Poor Bone.
I think I'm developing a migraine. It's just
Oh,
like starting up.
I hate that. Migraines are the worst.
I know, and we don't even have a frickin' AC unit.
You're right. I'm sorry, babe.
At least it's not too hot today. Ursula's like, why do you have all the lights out? And I'm like, it's hot. And she's like, oh. Okay.
Oh.
That makes sense. Because we have like 50,000 light bulbs.
We have so many lights
and like
in this house.
LEDs don't put out that much heat, but like when it's hot, like just turn off as many appliances as you can.
Exactly. And I have to have a light on so people can see me in the camera.
I know, that's fine. I'm
Okay.
just
Good.
I'm talking about yesterday.
Oh, okay, true. Yeah. I was playing Sims in the dark because we didn't want any lights on. I had an idea for a story where I wanted to write
Explain your story.
okay. I wanted a story that is about like a witch or something who lives in this like little remote village with like where she does like magic and stuff with her family. And there's like a forbidden forest that she can't go into because it's all cursed or spooky or whatever. And then one day she goes in and she finds like a government lab. And it turns out, like, I don't know, where she lives is like an experiment run by like a high-tech government type thing, conspiracy. I thought that would be really fun. I just spoiled the whole story for if I ever make it, but that's my pitch. We'll never stop screaming about Bright. Feel better, Bones. That was me all week. Aw.
Migraines are the worst.
They are. They suck.
I'm going to take my headphones off. That might help.
Okay.
Headphones make me dizzy.
Understandable. I find these headphones, they're great for sound quality, but they squeeze my head. I wear bobby pins in my hair to like pin my bangs back, and these like...
You have a big head.
Shut up! That's weird, because my art teacher told me I have a deceptively small head, and I still think about it.
That's true, you do have a deceptively small head.
But it's also big, so I don't know.
Deceptively small. Yeah. It looks small, but it's big. Things just don't fit on it.
They don't. Someone help. I'm sorry. We were doing sculptures, like we were doing sculptures of people's faces, and my
Looks small is big. It's not normal. Her head is not normal.
not normal. and my partner asked for help because you had a partner and you had to sculpt each other, and so my partner asked for help with sculpting me, and my teacher was like looking at me and she's like, you have a deceptively small head. If it's small but big, then normal. Are you two gonna continue reading Pretty Mouth on stream? We should. Maybe we'll do that next.
No.
We can't do it next stream, but we'll do it soon.
And you can't do it on the stream after that, because that would be the game stream.
Oh, you're right.
Because the game stream comes after the critique stream.
Maybe a Thursday stream?
No.
Oh.
That's too late.
Okay. It's too late. Okay, we'll do it eventually, but we will continue. Her head is one of those fun mirrors. Oh my god. Every dentist I go to says I have a small mouth. Shut up. Oh my god. I guess too big, which is too confident. Bully her. Thank you. Please bully me. I don't like when people use vampires as an allegory for minorities. Vampires are an allegory for the ruling class. I thought they were. They've typically been used as like the aristocracy. Drinking the blood of the poor. You grabbed a hot glass out of the microwave with your bare hands? That's metal. As hell. Ouchie. Could never be me.
Go to the Discord. That's how you find someone to help you.
Exactly. Go to our Discord. Link down below. We have a creative partner channel. We also have just a cool community full of artists and writers. been told all my facial features, including my ears, are so small. It's rude of people to say. Underworld did that. Oh, okay. Man. It's also annoying when dentists ask me questions when they're like in your mouth doing work and they ask you stuff and you're like, what am I supposed to say? You're like, uh-huh. Or uh-uh.
Well, if they ask you yes or no, you give them a thumbs up or a thumbs down.
Never.
Did you know that's the answer? Because you can't nod and you can't go, So give them a thumbs up. There. I just saved you all.
Thank you. I once cried in my dentist's
In your
office.
dentist? Did they eat you?
Yes.
You got bored up?
No! Stop! In the dentist's office, I cried. Basically, what happened was I had like a cavity or something, and they poked it wrong, and it hurt so bad I just started crying. They were like, "Are you okay?"
I cried because I had 12 cavities.
I mean, who wouldn't cry?
They're like, you have 12 cavities. And I was like, oh no. I just bawled because I didn't want to get needles in my mouth. And I had to go to the dentist 4 times to slowly go through all of them. I had 12 because I hadn't gone to the dentist in forever because I hadn't gone as a kid. And then I was a teenager and I got dental coverage again, I guess. And I went. And they did me a clean and they were like, 12. But now my teeth are pretty, like, well, I don't have any teeth left, so how can I get cavities?
They're all fake now. Oh my god.
I had to get one refilled, but that's like the only thing. I haven't had a new cavity really since.
I lost like a filling.
Ooh,
and I hadn't noticed until my dentist was like looking in my mouth and she was like,
Your one dentist sucked.
Oh god, I hated that dentist. Our new dentist is great, but the old dentist.
If we want to still go to that one, I mean, it's just a trip to KW. If you still, since you really like that one,
and I don't want to find a new one that I might not like.
Yeah, but the cavities were always fillings always coming out.
But yeah, she looked at my mouth and she was like, there's a hole in one of your teeth. And I was like, what? She was like, yeah, right there. And I like poked it. And I was like, how did I lose half my tooth?
It's horrifying.
But yeah, my old dentist once left in the middle of doing a filling. And I really had to pee.
Does he know your dentist?
What?
I'm her husband? We have the same dentist?
Yes. Right, so he was doing a filling for me, and it was taking a really long time, like longer than normal. And I really had to pee the whole time. And then he got up and left.
Oh my god, right?
And he left for like 20 minutes
I'm sorry.
to go help someone else. I'm new. Okay.
We're in the same house right now. I guess that's also not clear.
True. He is over there.
We just don't have a second camera. Yeah.
I realize I'm like, duh, but if you're new, you probably would have no idea.
What's funny? We were all so confused.
I love it. Watch, there's gonna be a whole bunch of people watching who are like, you're married? Because sometimes people come on and they think we're friends.
Siblings.
And
stepsister, no.
No. Bones, I'm gonna spray you with the water bottle.
Oh, please.
This is like the kitten. Oh god, oh no. Next time I swallowed one of the rubber bands they put in my mouth. No. Of one fear. They're just roommates, exactly. They were roommates. Oh my goodness. I always trip because my brain says Bones is on the right.
Yes, I'm in the stairwell.
Bones, I have a question.
No, you don't.
I do. The final image in Avo.
Mm-hmm.
Should it be Varia and Juliet? Or should it be everyone parting ways?
Probably Fairy and Juliet, right?
That's true. They are kind of the
Kind of.
the focus of book one.
They're kind of the main characters.
Is Varia naked?
No!
What?
I just discovered I discovered something horrible.
Oh god. Okay.
I discovered like a Reddit, but
Oh,
it's
no.
like it's not Reddit. It's like Reddit remade for TERFs because they all got evicted from Reddit, so they made their own version of Reddit. And I just discovered its existence.
What a horrible
It's basically
place.
Reddit for TERFs.
Ew.
Yeah.
It's like that Twitter they made for all the all the racists.
Yeah. I was just trying to find sewing patterns.
Oh god. Big ew. Of course Bones
I wasn't even looking for it.
Didn't
I
you
was
re-
just looking for like opinions on like sewing like trans people together. No.
What?
For trans people sewing, and I just found someone complaining about trans people on r/sewing, and I'm like, what? And then it was titled gender critical, and I'm like, I thought you guys got evicted, and they were evicted. And apparently they have a place.
What a hellish place. What
I was
website?
trying to find a sewing pattern, and I just walked into a digital crowd of TERFs, right? Yeah, that's literally what happened. I was not seeking this out.
Horrifying. What websites can you get fonts from? If you're looking for comic fonts, Blambot's a good place. If you have the Adobe suite, the Adobe fonts are good. Honestly, Google has quite a few fonts. I don't know if they still have a site where you can download fonts from, but
They have like individual little Reddit, like r/this, r/that. Like, what is this?
there's also a really good site called Typewolf that helps with it has just like lots of curated lists of like really good fonts and fonts that pair well together, and they usually have links to like the creators where you can buy licenses to the fonts and stuff. Send me the link, Bones, it's my people.
No, I'm not telling you
Don't
where
do
this
it.
is.
Don't go there. It's bad.
I'm not gonna let you guys digitally self-harm like I will.
What was I saying before? I don't remember. I got sidetracked. Oh, I have a question about Avo.
Yeah.
Is Faria naked post the execution scene?
Why we? Oh wait, yeah, the princess. Oh,
Is she just naked the rest of
yeah,
it?
she's naked for the rest of the book.
And Juliet
Is naked before that. They do a switch.
Oh dang!
You didn't even notice
The
it?
naked switch. No, totally forgot.
It's shift.
I was just picturing her in the dress.
No, she burns it up. Rips out of it. She becomes a dragon. Do
I
you think her
mean,
dress
yeah.
survived that? No.
That's true. I mean, I guess she's naked in the first scene we see her as well.
Yeah, that's true.
Because Dragon just was strut around naked.
Yeah, and Juliet has clothes on the first scene.
Oh, you're right. And then they switch.
They switch.
Nikki switch. Yes.
They can't be clothed in the same room.
No.
They're either naked or one of them has to be naked at all times.
That's the rule. Oh my god.
I did forget to put clothes on Aurora, but she probably put some on at some point.
Probably.
I don't know where she found them though, because the whole city, is in a state.
Listen, if anyone has stashes of like beautiful dresses, it's probably Aurora. Just
guess
around
so.
the city.
Just piles of them.
Bones.
What?
Can you not chew into the mic?
I can't actually tell if I'm chewing into the mic because I'm not wearing headphones.
Oh, you fool. What, you got a migraine or something? Aurora naked for the entire book, it's fine. Yes. It's harder for me because then I have to tastefully cover them up through the whole thing.
Hell
Just
yeah.
Conveniently placed vases everywhere. You gotta make sure they're actually free fonts. You don't want to get in trouble if you want to monetize your comic. Yes, exactly. You want to make sure you have the licenses for what you use. And that could be, it is a font that has a license for you to use in commercial for free. Yeah. Everyone naked. Everyone's just in the nude for all of Avo. It's one of the selling points of the book. Just convenient leaves blowing in the wind. Yes, exactly. What do you think of doing comics traditionally? I'm bad at digital, so I thought it would work better for my stuff. Hell yeah, traditional comics are great. I think... I mean, I know lots of artists who do traditional and then, like, scan it or take photos of it, because, iPhones and stuff have good enough cameras these days to just take a photo. But yeah, doing traditional comics is totally legit, and putting them online is totally fine. Lots of people do it. I think, I hope I'm not making this up. I won't say because I'm not sure. But I think I have a specific person who does traditional comics and then uploads them, but I can't remember if it's true and I don't want to make up lies. So how do you make your own handwriting fonts so I won't get in trouble? There are websites that allow you to digitize your like handwriting. Another thing some people do is they will put down a font. So say like Web Letterer BB is like a common one that is used that you can get on Blambot. But they'll put down like a font and then they'll draw over top of it. So then like it's still handwritten, but it has like some structure beneath it. But there are websites that allow you to turn your own handwriting into a font so that it's easy to reuse. Thanks, vamp artist. Calligrapher. Someone beat you to it. I'm better at drawing on paper, but I just take a photo of it and do the line art and colors in digital. I used to do that. When I started out making Sovereign, the early stuff was sketched traditionally and then inked and colored digitally. But yeah, tons of people do traditional. which is legit, you know? Do whatever works for you. If you're faster traditional, then do it. I just find I'm faster digitally, so that's what I use, but man,
You're so cute.
me?
Yeah, you.
Thank you.
I can't wait to go to bed in 10 minutes.
He's waiting. Long stream today.
Is
Yeah.
it?
Is it long? No,
It's the same
it's the
amount as
usual time.
usual.
I want to make myself a font. I'm too lazy. I want to look into like hand lettering to make my writing cuter. I remember we did a course in high school where we tried to make a font, but I never had. I struggled with it a lot. I wonder if I'd be better at it now than I'm better at art than I was when I was like 16. But yeah, I remember I really struggled with it. Typically, it's just easier to find licenses for cute fonts that are already made. I can't wait to go to bed in 10 minutes. I just want to draw the comic mood. Then there's me who does traditional thumbnails, takes a picture on iPad, and redraws the page in Procreate. Then goes to Clip Studio to ink, and then goes to Photoshop. Oh my god, so many steps. Hey, whatever works for you. Only use the Live, Laugh, Love font for everything, yes. Please. I love to sketch in Procreate, do pencils in Procreate, and line in Clip Studio, yes. I do all my panel layouts in Photoshop. So I feel ya. Okay, so I think okay.
She thinks, guys.
She do be thinking. Wait, I'm in the wrong spot. I always forget how to do things, guys. I forget how to do things. Okay. Let's do this. Let's draw things. We need more steps.
I love all of you guys.
Oh.
I'm gonna take a bath after this.
I'm trying to piece Avo together based off the thumbnails. I mean, there's a lot of
Stuff.
that is missing from the thumbnails.
Don't yell in my ear. I'm sorry. A bubble bath? Yeah, of course a bubble bath. I don't want to stare at my naked body. I've just been parading around the house in underwear. Because I don't have to wear a shirt anymore.
Lucky duck.
Yeah, I am.
I mean, it's my own dang house. I could parade around naked if I wanted to. We don't have a lot of curtains downstairs, though.
Yeah. You can do it in your room.
I could.
She doesn't want to.
I don't want
She's
to.
horrified by the mere thought.
I could never. I don't like being totally naked. It's very uncomfortable.
I like being in my undies.
There better be a ducky in there. You should get you some rubber duckies. I was overjoyed to find that's like a therapy tool. That sometimes they'll call it rubber ducking when you need to like talk through something that's like, I don't know, you just want to talk through like an emotionally heavy thing with someone, but there's like no one there to talk to. So like talking, they'll have you talk to a rubber duck just because sometimes it helps to like verbalize things. There's more to it, I'm sure, than that. But when I heard about that, I thought it was fun. But I talk to our pets a lot.
What is... Sorry. Unpopular opinion, I'm a sex-negative feminist?
What?
How? What does that even mean?
Fascinating. So one thing with Avo, actually, is that I'm doing all my pencils digitally, and then I'm going to ink it all traditionally.
Yeah, it's gonna be really poggers. She also has to... She's also doing little title card ones, too.
Oh yeah,
There's so
I
much
didn't show
art.
you guys. But, each chapter is going to have, like, a heading like this. This was just, like, a mock-up for the illustration, but it's going to have different illustrations for every chapter. I'm trying to make it look like a mix between, like, Art Deco and, like, fantasy elements. I don't know if it worked. My friend teaches coding and gives everyone a duck at the beginning of the semester. That's adorable. Why did you choose the traditional route? It just fit the vibes, you know?
Okay, so they're just a swerf. Okay.
Oh,
I figured it out.
oh, there we go.
That's cool.
What the hell? Ursula's good at art. I know. Secret revealed. Oh no, I feel like a jerk saying that. I'm like, no, it's bad. But yeah, basically, part of it was like I wanted to get better with traditional inking, and also it just fits the vibes.
It's true.
Thought it would be cool to do some.
And we can sell the art.
There's that too. Can sell the originals. We are hoping that maybe I could color things with watercolors. Possibly. Let Ursula say she's good at art 2021. Never. I constantly swing between being like, my art's awesome, and being like, I don't know. Is it? Weird question. Ursula, when a character is talking in a panel and it's a lot of dialogue, so you make multiple speech bubbles from one character, do you need to connect all the bubbles with a tail? It depends. Different ways I do it. Here, I'll just grab my canvas I was working on. Because you can have, say, here's your character who's talking. You can have the bubbles, like, stack like this and connect. You can do a big bubble, or usually this is done if it's multiple characters talking and you want to show who's speaking. So let's say, like, I have another character over here who's talking. So character 1 says something, character 2 replies, and then character 1 replies to that. So you'll have like a tail attaching. Usually I think it's the last bubble that has the... I actually don't know. Is it better to have the first bubble or the last bubble have a tail? I think it depends on the composition. But anyways, you can have a tail or like a cord connecting the bubbles to show who's talking. I think you can get away with having detached bubbles if there's no new speaker. So say I have someone doing a monologue. You could probably get away with having detached bubbles that have them speaking, and people will generally understand it's the same person talking. But I think it's generally a good rule of thumb to connect them in some way, just to show who is speaking. Hopefully that makes sense. I made the traditional Avo art first. It's true. We stole the idea from Chorrel. I've done that multiple times on the same piece. What about when it's an establishing shot? I've seen people use squares instead of bubbles. I wrote Avo. Oh dear. I think, yeah, I'd have to see your example because I don't think you have to attach them if, like, aesthetically it doesn't work. Yeah, I'd have to see a specific example because I know what you mean. Because sometimes people will start a scene with a caption that's like either a character like expositing information or internal dialogue or something. They're very specific questions. That's okay. I'm sure other people are struggling with the same kind of ideas. Yeah, because you can do square captions to set a scene. Because I know I've also seen where you'll have someone who's speaking off panel where they'll have bubbles that don't have tails just to show that they're not there. Where you'll still understand it's the same person talking. Or you'll have someone on the panel and someone out of the panel, and the person out of panel doesn't have speech bubble tails, but the person in the panel does. So I think it just depends. I'd say experiment with it and show it to someone and ask if they understand who's speaking. Because sometimes just getting feedback on it can help. It's stuff I'm struggling with since I've been trying to push my shots out further. Oh, okay. I'm surprised that doesn't give you more room to just, like, put your speech bubbles in more convenient places. The rules for some of these things are really flexible. Letterer to letterer. Yeah, definitely. It depends on the person, right? How do you keep a certain setting and background consistent layout-wise? I'd recommend doing, I tend to do top-down scenes. So say I have, like, a bedroom, so, like, here's a bed, here's a desk, there's the chair, here's a window, here's the door. Like, just something really simple where I can mark down where different things are. Because that can really help with understanding how the space works. And then I'll usually do, like, a more kind of 3D sketch where I'm like, here's the bed, here's the desk. Obviously, they'll be more in perspective than this, but here's the chair, here's a little window. This kind of thing. Because that can really help with just mapping out where things are in your head. And like I said earlier in the video, if you're doing like an outdoor setting where things are more kind of random, like a wilderness setting, I'd recommend just creating kind of landmarks within that setting and marking them down on a map for yourself. And from there, I think it just helps to put down a grid and some perspective lines just to see, so you can keep track of like where things are in relationship to each other. And don't flip your camera around too much, otherwise people might be kind of lost as to where they are. Make Sims houses, yes. Exactly. That's why I play Sims so much. I'm just creating settings for my comics. Actually, that'd be really fun. I was for a while. I should go back to making it. I was making Lul's Manor in The Sims.
Oh my god.
That'd be a fun stream to do. On Twitch or something.
Yeah, you should. We could Twitch stream more. By more, I mean at all.
Yes.
We're busy. It's fine.
We're busy bees.
I should just stream our game sessions.
I mean, we could.
Save a recording.
We could. Anyways, we're done for the day. Thank you so much for joining us. Please make sure to
Thanks
subscribe.
for dealing with me.
Thanks for dealing with Bones. We love him. And yeah, we will be back on Thursday with another stream. So we'll see you then. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.